Aries, welcome to your weekly reading. It's going to be your reading here from June 23rd until the 29th. This is definitely a big week, a big karmic test and reset. So let's go ahead and jump in here, Aries, and let's take a look and see what the energy is here for you. Definitely a big week astrologically. I'll go through the transits here in a moment, but let's go ahead here and pull your cards. Actually, I'm gonna list the transits. I'm not gonna talk about every single transit, but what I will do during this reading for the ones that are newer, this is what I typically do. What I will do is whatever transits come through in the reading, like in your actual reading, I'll talk about. So this week we enter into the week, and if I just had to describe this week in one sentence, it would be confusion that suddenly comes with a click of clarity. This is a big week though. So let me go ahead and just list the transits. We have the Sun square Neptune when we come into the week. With that Sun that's still squaring Saturn, and then we have Mercury square Chiron. We have the Sun that's going to conjunct Jupiter, which is the big transit that you're probably going to hear everybody talking about. And that is with the new moon in Cancer as well. Then we have Mercury sextile Uranus, and then we have the Sun that's going to sextile Mars. Mercury will come into Leo, Venus sextile the North Node, Mercury trine Saturn, Mercury trine Neptune, and then Mercury opposed Pluto. Talk about the way I just see this right now with Mercury being in the mix. Now I know a lot of you are like, I don't know what any of those transits mean, Austin. Don't worry, I got you. When we go through the reading, I will talk about it and I will explain it. But what I wanted to say really quickly is, like, with Mercury just being in the mix here this week, Mercury does deal with our mind and our intellect. And for you, Aries, this could be the week to where you finally are able to understand something, process something, or find the solutions to things here, or even receive the communication or just the understanding of things that have once maybe been blocking you before, or just waiting on certain things if you've been waiting on certain things when it comes to clarity or just understanding, or even if you just have been feeling just mentally confused. I feel like this could be the big week here to where you start to get answers. So let's pull your oracle cards here. But one thing I pick up for you looking at your reading, which I will show the cards if you're newer, but I'd like to pull the cards first. You do have the Five of Wands here in your challenge. By the way, your reading is actually pretty positive. But you do have the Five of Wands in the challenge, which it doesn't surprise me. Five of Wands is a Saturn energy. The Five of Wands talks about conflict, strife, can even be drama, blocks, challenges. This could be dealing with external challenges. This could also be internal as well. This card manifests as internal frustration. It can be anger. And for you, I think, Aries, you're definitely going through this Five of Wands energy, because if we just think about the transit as we enter into the week and the transits that we've been under, Saturn's in your sign in Aries, Neptune's in your sign in Aries, and Jupiter has been squaring Saturn in Aries. So Jupiter's been squaring you. Jupiter's been squaring Neptune. And then we have the Sun coming into Cancer, or that's in Cancer this week when we enter into this week. That's going to square Saturn in Aries, which is going to square you. It's going to square Neptune in Aries. Cancer deals with our emotions. Aries deals with, when you put these two things together in regards to the square, this can manifest as emotional frustration, feeling emotionally restricted, things feeling emotionally uncomfortable. You're maybe being forced to step outside of your comfort zone, or you're having to do things here that require action but feel uncomfortable. Does that make sense? So let's go ahead and before we even jump into, that's fine, actually, yeah. But with this Five of Wands, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the card. The Five of Wands being in your challenge is like it's the conflict, it's the challenge, it's the blockages. It could be external with people, drama, but also when it comes to yourself as well, this can manifest as you feel the internal restriction and frustration, specifically when it comes to expressing yourself. Because Aries, you're all about action and passion and fearless and wanting to go on the adventure. That's Aries. Cancer is about comfort, the home. Think about it. Cancer is water. Water's soft, right? Fire is hot, right? Fire, so they don't go together. So that's what square comes in the mix here. So I do get that this is something that's emotionally frustrating that you're going through at this time. It could be with family because Jupiter's in Cancer, right? And the Sun's in Cancer, and the Sun's going to conjunct Jupiter this week. So it could be, Cancer does point to family. It could point to like home or the family, or Cancer can just be your inner world, your inner self. So you pull the Queen of Cups here for the overall energy. I think this is what you're actually trying to find at this time in your life. What is the Queen of Cups? Well, the Queen of Cups is someone who has the emotional comfort, the emotional security. She understands her emotions. She understands how to process emotions. Actually, the Queen of Cups is the queen of the depths of the subconscious, unconscious, right? To where she's a master at emotion. And one thing I get a side note here, Aries, is that I feel like you've been trying to hold space for other people, but at this point you're just like, I don't got time for it. Like I don't got I can't keep doing it. That's one thing I get here. But with the Queen of Cups, I just think overall, like your overall aim here that you're aiming for in your life right now is finding the emotional security, emotional comfort. Also, the Queen of Cups has a lot to deal with happiness, if you want to be real. Because the Queen of Cups, because you're rooted within inside yourself, you can find that consistent rhythm of joy and happiness, right? You can find that consistent rhythm of nourishment. So I think that's something here that you're ultimately building toward and trying to strive for and have. And you could already be in this energy at this time, Aries, but it could be other people that may be, like you're in this energy, but you're noticing other people not in that energy, and for some reason it's affecting you. So you have the Four of Pentacles here in your current position at this time, and we haven't even gotten to your oracle cards here. The one big thing that I see here, there's so many different things here that I see, but the one big thing that I see here is that there is this new chapter, there is this new cycle beginning that has a lot to do with the Sun conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, but that is going to square you, so it can feel a little bit difficult. Maybe you're having to deal with uncomfortable things at this time, Aries. Maybe you're having to deal with, it could be family stuff, it could be home life stuff, it could be just inner frustration. And I think with the Four of Pentacles in your current energy, you're just trying to just remain grounded through all of it. You're just trying to remain grounded through it all. Four of Pentacles always ask the question, where does your power lie? And then, of course, the answer is the power always lies within your hands, right? Like things are in your control. And so I think you're just trying to keep things in control at this time, Aries, while you're dealing with this Five of Wands energy, challenge, conflict. But I do get here too that Spirit's really wanting you to express yourself, Aries. This is definitely the week to where, with Mercury involved, Mercury does a lot with communication. So if there's anything that you need to say or to express this week, I feel like you're being encouraged to do that. Something's testing your confidence here a little bit as well, Aries. Because the Queen of Wands, as your advice here, the Queen of Wands deals with, well, she's confident, right? She follows her heart. She trusts her instincts, right? She listens to her intuition. She allows herself to spontaneously flow. But with the Five of Wands being in the challenge, you could be feeling restricted from those things, or there's challenges or blocks when it comes to those things. So this could be creating inner doubt, anxiety, worry, stress. It could be insecurity as well. It would be more so if the Queen of Wands is in the challenge, but it could be insecurity. Because the Four of Pentacles deals with security, right? So it's like maybe there are some things that are making you a little bit insecure. I'm just being real. But with the Strength card being here in your future position, the Strength card deals with courage. So with the Five of Wands, Queen of Wands being here, and your challenge and your advice, the Five of Wands is about exercising your willpower, exercising your authority, right? And especially with the Cancer squares to use, like some things may feel a little bit emotionally uncomfortable. One of my favorite quotes, I think Bruce Lee said it. It could have been Sun Tzu or Lao Tzu, but the more you seek the uncomfortable, the more you'll become comfortable. And it'll be difficult at first, but everything is always difficult at first. I think that's actually Lao Tzu or Sun Tzu. And it's not until you practice or you implement or you like step into the game, right, that you're able to get the experience, or you're able to become more comfortable in the uncomfortable. So the Strength card has a lot to do with courage. So I see you here in the future moving forward with a lot of courage. I also think too, Aries, the Strength card has a lot to deal with overcoming our lower instincts and our lower nature here. And the Five of Wands could be frustration, especially when it comes to other people. And that Queen of Cups is like you're trying to be emotionally loving and you're trying to have compassion. And you may be having to hold space this week for other people. Right, you may be having, because if you take a look, the woman tames the beast on this card, right? So what that means is that you may be the one help taming or calming down other people that are, going through things. And it could be vice versa as well. Maybe, someone here this week is helping you like move through frustration, move through challenges, move through blocks here. But I kind of get it's the first one. It's the first one here. And two, I would stay away from drama this week. Like, I would just stay away from it. Five of Wands is unnecessary fights and conflict. Now, it can be too that the Five of Wands represents that it could be conflict that can be resolved quickly. It's just, it just escalates really quickly. So the Five of Wands, like the example that I always use, Five of Wands, you ever get in a fight with your sibling, right? You may cuss at them, right? Or you may cuss them out, or you may tell them off, or whatever the case might be. But then later on, you're just like, oh, well, okay, whatever. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I don't know. I was just upset, right? Like, that's how quickly you can de-escalate a Five of Wands. But it's only until control comes in the mix of like egos, right? To where one person doesn't want to have compassion and be kind, right? Or one person doesn't want to forgive, right? That it just drags on forever, right? So I think here with the Strength card being in the future position, that the Strength card can represent just acts of kindness and just being kind and compassionate. And just understanding that some people, like, we're all human. Like, some of us we have emotions, right? We get upset, right? And we get frustrated and we get mad. But I think with the Five of Wands, like, not taking it personal, which I don't feel like that's you for some reason, Aries. I think you're dealing with people like this, if that makes sense. You pulled the Knight of Cups here in the outcome position here. There's something here in your reading about vulnerability here, Aries. Again, this week has a lot. The themes of vulnerability are extreme at this time because of the Cancer energy that's squaring you. Like, Cancer is emotions, so it deals with vulnerability, it deals with trust, it deals with yielding, surrendering, emotionally connecting. And the Knight of Cups with the Strength card is like having to like trust like having to be vulnerable and move forward with something. It's more so like seeking the uncomfortable to become comfortable. So it's like maybe dealing with uncomfortable things so that way you can kind of resolve them and bring and restore things. So I think with this Nine of Cups being here in the outcome, this is you moving forward, like moving past the blocks and feeling as if something has freed up here for you to emotionally express or move forward with something here. All right, let's jump into your oracle cards, and then we will. There's so much here. We still have to clarify your reading. You pull this first house card. It says arrival here. Yeah, the first house deals with yourself. It's your sense of self. Also, the first house deals with the beginning of new journeys. Right. So I think that first house, like the beginning of a new journey, has a lot to do with probably that Sun conjunct Jupiter. But also, like, the first house is dealing with your sense of self, that the spotlight actually needs to be on yourself. I'm not saying you have to ignore others or be cold toward others, but I think for you, Aries, this is about yourself and like your own journey and you sort of having to prioritize yourself. Maybe having to be a little bit selfish. You pulled this unmarked trail card. It says revelation here. So this could be a week where there are epiphanies or revelations. It wouldn't surprise me. Mercury is going to sextile Uranus, and Mercury sextile Uranus. Uranus is a planet that deals with sudden awakening, sudden changes. It can be epiphanies, specifically with a good aspect to Mercury, right? Mercury does with communication, understanding. So there could be new information that just like reveal something to you in a positive way because it's Mercury sextile Uranus. But also, Mercury's going to trine Saturn. So whatever the new thing is that's happening this week, Mercury trine Saturn, it's like you can really implement those plans long term and understand things long term, right? And then Mercury's going to trine Neptune. There's also that kind of creative aspect to it as well, right? It's a reshaping probably of an ideal. And then Mercury opposed Pluto. That's the one thing to be aware of when it comes to maybe communication in regards to disagreements. But as long as you're not taking things to the extreme, I feel like you'll be fine. You pull this, be clear on what you want here. It says, put action to your goals, make them a reality. And you have the Ace of Swords here, which is, the Ace of Swords is actually the card of intention. It's in the position of something you're unaware of that you need to be aware of. So the Ace of Swords deals with clarity. And it's like whenever you have the Five of Wands in the challenge, when it comes to other people, right? Whether it's expressing yourself or comprehending other people, like understanding other people, it's all about figuring out like what their intentions are, like what their real intention is, right? So I think this goes both ways here, like understanding what other people's intentions are. And when I say intentions, I'm not saying intentions in a bad way. It's like somebody could have like good intentions, but maybe they're not able to express it or show it, right? So that Strength card being in the future could be you helping them or helping resolve the situation by getting to like the core of like what they're actually, like what's actually going on, if that makes sense. But for you as well, it's like whatever your intention is, I think it's time to move forward with your intention, because the Five of Wands with the Four of Pentacles, this is not the time to play small. Even though we do have Jupiter square Saturn, it's like there's this push to want to expand, but then maybe there's this pull to want to come back, right? But we are being, this is like some type of, this is a, what do you call it, like growing pains, right? And I think you're ready to level up with the Four of Pentacles, because the Four of Pentacles says you're sitting on, right now you're in the perfect position here to use the resources here that you have at your disposal to level up with the Five of Wands being in your challenge, but it's going to take a new version of you. But sometimes we don't even allow ourselves to do it because we feel like we're incapable or it can't happen for us. But it can with the Queen of Wands. It's like you have to just trust and believe in yourself here. Man, I feel like I could read this. I feel like I can go all day in your reading. There's so many things. Let's clarify your read here. Clarify the Queen of Cups here for the overall energy. You pull the Three of Swords here. I don't think this Three of Swords energy is you. I really don't. If I were to pull this card first on the Queen of Cups, I would say yes, it's you. Now it could be you, right? But I think for the most part, if this was you or this is you, I don't feel like it's something that's weighing you down anymore. It's like you're pretty much over it. I think this is you holding space for other people. Like the Queen of Cups is someone who holds space. And the Three of Swords is, well, it's space for other people's heartbreak. Right? And also to, it's like I do believe here, Aries, you're wanting to actually be there for people that are going through a Three of Swords. Clarify the Four of Pentacles in your current energy. You pull the Wheel of Fortune here. That's interesting. Wheel of Fortune reminds us that the only constant in the universe is change. And the Four of Pentacles is when we cling too hard to not change, right? Four of Pentacles, like he ain't moving anywhere. He ain't going nowhere. If you actually read about this card, it's actually kind of funny because he's like the heaviest person in the like he's so stubborn that he doesn't move at all. Like he doesn't budge at all. But that can be to our detriment. Like sometimes it's good to be stubborn. Like people think stubborn is always a bad thing, but stubborn can actually be good in some instances. That's what Taurus teaches us in astrology. But not to the Four of Pentacles is you. I don't think it's you. It could be you, but it's when we cling to like wanting things to stay the same, right? Or just staying in a position because we've gotten to a good position or we're in a decent position and we're afraid to do anything, right? Because we're afraid to change. But I think this Wheel of Fortune being in your current energy, the change in season is trying to happen here for you, but you may be fearing or resisting the change. But you have to remember that life has changed here. But with the Wheel of Fortune, it's actually a transition of season into a better season of your life. Like, you think it's going to be a bad season or it's not going to turn out good, but it actually is going to turn out good. But also the Wheel of Fortune too is actually wanting you to spin the wheel, right, and allow yourself to take chances. Because that Five of Wands being in your challenge, like, you're ready to expand here more, but for some reason you could be like restricting that. Or maybe it's other things restricting that. Clarify the Five of Wands in the challenge. You have the Fool card here. Yeah. The Fool card is all about, it's about taking chances as well. That's very interesting. The Fool card is about taking chances, but also I would say the Fool card too. Oh man, Aries, I think some of y'all got some haters. I'm not just saying that. Five of Wands can be haters. Y'all know I don't always say that about the Five of Wands. But the Five of Wands can be haters, and the Fool card can be, it's time to be more carefree and not care what people think. Five of Wands says express yourself. It's Saturn and Leo, so the lesson is to express yourself, right? To be yourself, to be your own unique individual, and to let the authentic expression come from the soul, come from the heart. That's Leo. And other people may not understand you, or they may judge you, whatever the case might be, but it's like, are you going to continue to play it small? I never knew an Aries that played small. So the Fool card is also telling me that you're ready to take more chances, or to open up to new things, new experiences, to experiment, try things. But it's interesting because the Fool card is, I'm going somewhere with this, by the way, y'all just hang with me for a second. But the Fool card, by the way, is the cosmic egg of the tarot, so it represents infinite potential of a new beginning. And it could be, the possibilities are endless, but if you never set the intention and be clear on what you want, this card here that you pulled, then you just sitting on potential. Because the Queen of Wands is your advice, is saying let your potential shine through. Specifically because the King of Cups clarifying the Queen of Wands. Like, the King of Cups talks about strong love and devotion to something that you love, like unconditionally love. And it says here, King of Cups is somebody who's already, someone who's enlightened, right? I'm not saying like you're enlightened, right? But I think you're enlightened. Like, I think you're wise. I think you have a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience. And the King of Cups says that it's important to devote your wisdom and what you know to teaching, guiding others, or just stepping into your mission more, stepping into your full expression more here. You have a lot to give. You have a lot more to offer than you think you do. Now, I will say this as well. There's a lot of different things here I see happening for you this week. When it comes to other people, the Fool card can deal with childish energy, specifically with the Five of Wands being the challenge. So the Queen of Wands, King of Cups, that's the advice, is like, you got to be the adult. I mean, Saturn's in your sign, Aries, so it's like you're pretty much the adult dealing with other people's temper tantrums, right? That's the Five of Wands. So you may have to hold space and be kind and be gracious and not fight fire this week. Just keeping it real. Sun square Saturn and Sun square Neptune. Like, clarify the Strength card in the future. You pulled the Eight of Cups here. Yeah, I mean, I do sense here you're able to let something go. Like, I see you detaching from something emotionally with this Eight of Cups and the Strength card. Like, you're finding the inner strength and courage and confidence to yield and let go of something from the past, which I believe is connected to that Three of Swords. And you're starting to find inner peace with the Strength card. Like, you're starting to overcome your triggers to Five of Wands in the challenge. Like, you're overcoming your, damn, Aries, can I keep it 100% real with you? I think Saturn coming into your sign, I'm just saying, Aries, is teaching you how to grow up. I'm not saying because you're childish, but anytime Saturn comes into your sign, like, Saturn's like the adult, right? Saturn's like the parent that's like, you got to grow up, right? Like, so that's why Saturn returns are always hard. But I think I think because Saturn's in your sign, you have no choice but to like be the bigger, like to be the adult in the room. Or what should I say? you're maturing here more, right? We always mature more and more and more. So even when you're 28, you go through your Saturn return, okay, you're maturing. There's a big mature process there. But when you're 59 or 58 or 56, 57, 58, you mature just as much again with Saturn when you have your other Saturn return. You're always constantly maturing. So one thing I see here is like you maturing and overcoming here, like being able to like let go of these triggers or these, I don't know, like these just things that no longer emotionally support you. Clarify the Knight of Cups in the outcome. You pulled the Five of Pentacles here. Another thing too, the Five of Pentacles is about struggle. It could be with money and resources and that stuff. But I don't think that's the case in your situation, because you pulled the Four of Pentacles in your current energy and then the Five of Pentacles is here in the outcome. I actually like this energy because I feel like what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to make changes. And what do I mean by that? Well, the Five of Pentacles is never easy because it forces you out of your comfort zone. You have to let go of something, and you have to trust, or I don't even say trust, but you have to transition into a new thing. And it's the in-between. But I think you're allowing yourself with the Knight of Cups to be vulnerable, right? To be brave with the Strength card, and to be courageous and follow your heart and listen to like what your soul wants to do. And so you could be letting go of an old way or an old routine or an old way of being or living. Clarify the Ace of Swords. You pull the Eight of Pentacles here. Also when it comes to your work or something you're working on with the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is a card that deals with mastery. So the Ace of Swords, the only way you can master something is if you have intention, right? Because otherwise you don't know what you're mastering, right? But I don't think you don't know what you're mastering. I think you know what you're mastering. But I think with the Ace of Swords, you have new ideas, or you're understanding or learning something new, but it needs to be implemented here in what you're doing. So Eight of Pentacles can be like the grind and working long and hard on your goals, but having to be like a lot more intentional with your work. There's a lot here in this read. It probably doesn't help that I'm doing this on the Moon square Neptune, because it probably is a little all over the place. But that's how life is sometimes. This will be the last thing I'm going to close with. The Ace of Swords signifies victory that's already there, but first, like, you have to move forward with the intention. So with the Eight of Pentacles, when it comes to what you're working on, what you're mastering, or what you're wanting to create, or what you're creating, you've already won. It's just more so about being confident and moving forward with your intention. So I would say this week, with the Wheel of Fortune that does signify divine timing, it points to astrology and all things cosmic and the unseen forces that deal with change. That this is a karmic test and reset. Of you overcoming your limitations and your blocks inwardly and dealing with the things externally. So that way you can have the spiritual and emotional reset to be able to feel free and expansive again with the Knight of Cups, Five of Pentacles in the outcome. So that is what I got for you, Aries, in your reading. I appreciate you for watching. I'm gonna leave your reading here. If you want to book a personal reading with me, that link will be down below in the description. I'm definitely here for you if you need help, guidance, clarity, direction, or if you just want to ask me any question. That link's down below in the description. I believe I have one mini reading left. but I do have the other reads. So, otherwise than that, Aries, I wish you the best, and I will see you in your next video.